begin. We are going to do a cooking demo today, and this is a little bit of Joy's style of cooking. And I'm fortunate with Joy's style of cooking, it's not precise measurements. So I like to teach principles, and hopefully you guys can try it out, and you can learn by taste. Okay, I'll do my best to write down at least the ingredients so you can remember, and then hopefully you can practice and be successful in making the taste come out the way you want it. Okay, so first I'm going to demonstrate how to do sushi. So in Japan they call it sushi, in Korean they call it kimbap. And so now mine is a little bit of a fusion, not even a fusion. It's like I made made my own version because it's a healthy version. So sushi is S-U-S-H-I, kimbap is K-I-M-B-A-P. So kim means seaweed and pap means rice. So seaweed rice, there you go. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to cook your rice. Now you don't have to have a rice cooker. Do you mind unplugging my big black one there and showing? But a good rice cooker is a beautiful investment. It is kind of pricey, but for the work that I do, it's worth it for me. Okay, so first thing, let me show you this one. So this is one I got from Costco, and you just gotta wait for the sales, okay? Now this one I call the BMW of rice cookers. It even talks to you. It says, okay, we're starting now, blah, blah, blah. All right, so the beautiful thing about this rice cooker and Asian rice cookers is that they are pressure cookers. And so it really makes the rice nice and soft and such. And it helps to make it sticky. But even if you don't have a rice cooker, it's okay. You can just cook your rice on the stove like you normally do. And then what I would do is I would add more water and then cook it longer until it's the stickiness that you want it. Okay, so don't think that you can't make the sticky rice yourself. And what I would do for sushi rice is I would use the medium grain, the Australian medium grain rice, brown rice. Okay, so that works much better. All right, so we've got the rice. Thank you. And then I need that small pot over there, that blue one unplugged. Yeah, the greeny blue one. All right, so yeah, I'll just start with the rice first because this is to me, the most crucial part. Now, I'm not a normal chef, so you got to understand this is Joy's way, okay? And if you think it tastes good, then you can follow it, okay? But if not, you can follow the other way. All right, so. Oh, that's hot. When you take when the rice is cooked and it's nice and hot, that's the best time that we can make the sushi. I used to think that it was good to wait until the rice was cool, but actually it works really nicely when it's hot. All right, so I've got my cooked brown rice there. There you go. And when I cook it, I add a little bit of salt in it. And so that goes and infuses into the rice. Before it cooks, I just put like half a teaspoon in there. And then while it cooks, it's like the flavor goes into the rice while it's cooking. Yeah. Okay, so these are the ingredients that I use to season the rice. So first and foremost, salt. And then lemon juice. They typically use vinegar. And they use sugar when they season the salt in Korea. But the healthier alternatives are lemon juice. And I like to use agave syrup because it's runny. You can use honey too, but in Victoria it's so cold, so long, it's like the honey gets so thick and congealed, it's hard to use. But agave syrup, it's from a cactus. And yeah, it's a really good sweetener because it has a low glycemic index. Then we've got sesame oil. And then what I use in almost all my cooking for that savory, a garlic powder. Okay, granulated garlic powder. Okay, and then the last thing here is toasted sesame seeds, white sesame seeds. Okay. All right, so we'll put those ingredients in, and then you want the rice to be a little bit on the salty side. It's going to have all the seasoning there, and then what you put inside in the middle, it doesn't have to be super seasoned. All right, so in the middle of the sushi, this is what we're going to put in. We're going to put in avocado, some red capsicum, carrot, and tofu that I've seasoned, and I'll show you how to season the tofu as well. All right, so I've got my salt. I will put in some lemon juice, and then you're going to want a balance of the salty, sweet, sour. Okay, so this is what we call the umami flavor, where you have that right balance. So you don't want it too sour, you don't want it too sweet. For myself, I like it a little bit tangy, so I don't put too much sweetener. So just put a little bit there, and I'll put my garlic powder. Not too overpowering, but it gives it a nice flavor. And then the sesame oil really helps to bring out that flavor. I found out that people here in Australia actually love sushi. It's really interesting. So that's great. I would never have expected it, but that's wonderful. Except for a few people here. I will not mention their names, but they cannot eat the seaweed. But hopefully they can eat the innards. All right, so we've got the sesame seeds in there. We can give a liberal amount. And then we can mix that all together. And then I always taste it. But I'm not going to taste this one because I already pre-made a batch that I already tasted. So I'm going to let Melanie keep stirring that one. And then we'll prepare the insides. Okay, so first we want to do tofu. Now in this country, I found the best tofu, I think, in my opinion, is the Aldi tofu. And it's cheaper than the other brands as well. I like the firmness and I like the flavor. There's some at other stores that are just not that good. So good flavor is really, really key. Okay, so what I would do is I would get my block of tofu, and could you rinse this one? Sorry, just get rid of the water and rinse that. And then we're going to slice it up, okay? So when I slice it up, it's going to be about this size, okay? So take the block, slice it this way. This is just what I do. You can do whatever you want to. And then what I will do is I will put some salt on both sides. What I usually do is I'll cut them. I'll put a little bit of salt on one side and put it down. Put a little bit of salt on the top side, and then layer the next one on top there. And then put a little bit of salt on top, okay? And then keep putting a little bit more salt so that it's layering both sides. And if you let it sit for about, an hour or two, whatever, then the salt soaks in. As we know that tofu is just bland, right? So it's whatever you put in it that makes it taste good. All right, thank you so much. Now, so then I just slice it like this and so forth until I'm done. And as I said, I'd salt it. I let it sit. And then there's different ways to marinate it. Many times, what I'll do is I'll take soy sauce and I'll put garlic powder and ginger powder. So I've got ginger here, got my garlic here, and soy sauce. But I'm running low on soy sauce right now, so I just did the simplest thing. I just used those two powders, the garlic and the ginger powder. And I just mixed them together in a bowl, and then I just sprinkled or wiped them onto each side, and then I baked them in the oven. You don't have to bake them in the oven. You can just fry it on a frying pan if you'd like. And then when they're cooked, then you can just slice it into the pieces, the shapes that you want, the long strips to put into the sushi. Oh, I probably put, this one temperature runs a little bit hot, so I put it on 170, but probably doing it on 180 for about 15 minutes is plenty, yeah. So you can see, if it gets too crunchy, it's not so good, yeah. So that's our tofu. And then we want to slice our veggies and simply slice it and then put it in this shape, the size and the shape that you want it, okay? And then also for carrots, the way I would slice the carrots, I do something like we want long pieces. So I'd cut that like so, and then I'd make it into the strips, approximate shapes, okay? So in cooking, the more precise you are and the more consistent in size and shape you are, it's really important for cooking, right? So it cooks more evenly, but also the presentation is very nice as well. Koreans really, at least this is what I learned from my mom, they really focus on making the food beautiful as well as tasty. So when we look at the colors, you can see more rainbow colors, right? And so that really adds to the experience of enjoying the food visually before we even taste it. All right, so that's the seasonings and that's all the ingredients that we're going to use to put together. All right, so it's very helpful to buy a sushi mat. They're just like $2 or something, even at Kohl's and Woolies, they even have it there. You can buy all these ingredients at the local grocery store, at the supermarkets. And actually, I prefer this one that you can buy at Kohl's and Woolies. This sushi, the sushi sheets. Okay, this one works well. It doesn't pop, doesn't break open, so it's pretty nice. Yeah. All right. So when you take out the sushi sheets, you'll notice that one side is shiny and one side is matte. It's dull. Okay. All right. So we like to put the shiny sheet on the bottom, so that when you roll it, it's shiny on the outside. This is purely for aesthetics, no other reason, okay? So we'll take that, and we'll get our rice. Thank you. And get the paddle here. This is my pre-seasoned rice. All right. All right, so then you put your rice on the paper, but don't put the rice all the way to the edge. You want to leave about maybe around 2 inches or so. So how many centimeters is that? Is it like 5, 6, 7 centimeters or so? You'll see. After I do this, I'll show you. So you put enough rice down, and then the trick is to flatten it. All right, you got to put some muscle into it and flatten it. Otherwise, the rice will just fall out. So if you want to do it evenly, nice and flat.
So that's cooled completely rice?
Sorry?
Is that cooled or just warm?
Warm is much better. Warm is much better from my experience and from what I've seen the professionals do. Yeah, just warm. As soon as you finish seasoning it, then you can roll it. Okay, so this is one of the very important bits. And then try to get it evenly spread. Okay, so you don't want to make it too thick because remember you're rolling it. And then that will affect how thick your sushi becomes. All right, so I put some muscle into it, I flattened it, and especially on the edges, I just try to flatten it so things don't come out, rice doesn't come out. Okay, can you see that a little bit? You see how much is at the edge there? All right, because when we roll it, things start pushing out. So let's start. We'll do my carrot. Do a couple of capsicum. Do a couple of my tofu there. And then I like to put my avocado last on the outside. Just gets a little squishy. Okay, so we've got all that all layered. And what I'll do is I'll first take the seaweed paper on the back and roll it over all the insides, the innards, right? And then I'll pull it up to the edge of my rolling mat. And then now here is when I will start giving some pressure and rolling it tight. So if you don't roll it tight, once you cut it, it's going to fall. Everything's going to kind of fall out. Okay? And then we use some rice as the glue to glue the ends. I'm going to take little granules of rice and just press it down, and it becomes like old school paste, what they used to use for glue, instead of those glue bottles that we use today. All right, you can give a nice little roll again. Giving pressure, equal pressure. This is what this mat does, gives an equalized pressure. And then we have this. And as Koreans, we like to cut them into rounds that you can just pop into your mouth. I know in this country they like to just cut it in half and sell it like that. And you need a nice knife to cut these things to make it look nice. This one's not doing so well at the moment, but this is what it'll come out like. So you see the colors inside? Yeah, pretty. And you'll get to taste it for lunch today. So this will be part of your lunch. You can taste that. Okay, so that's our sushi. Any questions? It's easy, isn't it? And it's healthy. Again, you don't think you can use brown rice, but actually, I think it's very tasty this way. Okay, easy? Okay, so remember the squishing down the rice and then rolling it tight. And so for some of you, if you want to have a little experience of rolling, we'll let you have a little experience at the end of the cooking demo. All right. Okay, so we'll pass this on. This one? Yeah. We'll give this to Kayla so she can start rolling. All right. I'm sorry? Yes. And then, did you listen to the instructions of putting salt on there? Yes. Okay. Yeah, salt first. Okay, the next thing that we will do is something that I learned from one of the ladies that were here yesterday visiting us. And when I taste it, I always try to emulate food that I love to eat. Right? So if I go to your house and you make something so good, I'm going to say, can you tell me how to make that? And then I'll try to make it at home. And if it's good, then I'll continue making it. So this is one that is fried rice with carrot, garlic, and roasted cashews. And then I also use sesame oil for that one, but it's really, I really love it. So I'll show you how to make it. Whoa. For fried rice, it's good to use rice that is 1 day old. You want to cook the rice ahead of time, put it in the fridge, and it's cooked, but then it gets a little hard, and that's better for our fried rice. Okay, let's see. No, if you could just leave that there, it'd be great. Yeah, everything is there. All right, so for this one, I'm going to be using the basmati rice. So even at Kohl's, they've got basmati rice, and that's just a longer grain rice, a little bit fluffier, not as dense, longer grain. So I've already cooked my basmati brown rice. And here's the grated carrots. Thank you very much, Liz, for that hard work. And roasted cashews. So I just did it on the pan, or you can just put it in the oven if you want. I would do it for 5 minutes in the oven and then check again. And then check just a few more minutes maybe. You don't want it too brown. What's that? Standard temperature, use 180. That's a great temperature, okay? So in America, 350. Most most things are cooked around that. Question? No? All right. So let me get my salt. Okay, so salt, of course, my garlic, my sesame oil, and fresh garlic. So we just crush that, mince that. So we're putting that in there. It tastes really good. All right, let me get my wooden spoon. And I'm going to start by putting just a little bit of water because I don't cook with the oil. So we'll use water, and I'll start putting the garlic there. You can put anything you'd like to. This is just how I learned, and so this is what I do. You can do any variation that you'd want to. So, ooh, that's pretty fun. That's going to be nice on the camera. All right, so cook your garlic first, and then we'll add the carrot, and then we'll add the rice. We'll add the seasonings, and then last we'll add the cashews. And then we're done.
Is curry powder different to chili powder?
I'm sorry?
Is curry powder different to chili? Like,
Definitely.
it's not a chili, it's not a curry powder is not a chili?
It's no.
So what about curry powder?
So curry powders, sometimes they mix different things together with it. I mean, this is off topic of this dish, everybody who's watching on on the camera. But yeah, so they make different curry powders with different spices, different ingredients. But some has chili in it. Some have chili in it. So there's a recipe in the cookbook that has a healthy curry with the healthy powders. So you can use something like that. Okay, so then we'll put some of the carrot. That's easy, right? I don't think I need to show you all of the steps. Maybe I'll have the ladies back there finish the rest, but just cook the carrot. And if you just add more water as needed. Do you guys like Asian food? Yeah? Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Some people are like, oh, we eat only Western foods. But hopefully if you will try it and like it, some of you who aren't used to it might like it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to add the rice, then add the other seasonings, and then the cashews, and then you'll see what it's like. Okay, is that good? All right. I'll finish that in a little bit. Okay, next. Let me do a Korean cucumber salad. Korean cucumber salad. And I do have the recipe here. I learned it from the Queensland Maker Heels that a lady named Noemi put on. And I tasted it, I said, whoa, this is so good. It's Korean, I don't even know how to make it like this. And so I got the recipe, and we will show you how to do that. All right, so it calls for cucumbers, red onions, but I don't have any red onions, and I didn't think it was worth my time to go run out and get it, so I just use white onions. They're a little bit spicier, but as I told you, we don't use the raw onions for salads, so I've been soaking it in lemon juice to get the spice out. Okay, and I also put the garlic in there as well, so it's not as spicy. So here's that. I just sliced it ahead of time, soak it for at least a few hours, and hopefully that spice will go away. All right, so cucumbers, onion, lemon zest, Toasted ground sesame seeds. Oh, I need to grind that. Yep. Water, minced garlic, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then chill before serving. So we'll just take our cucumbers and cut them into chunks. So cut them into half, and then into fourths, and then into about half an inch, or I don't know how many centimeters this is, maybe a couple centimeters or so. And so this is the size that we'll have for our cucumber base there. Okay, and then the lemon zest. All right, so if you have a grater, could you grab me one of the graters there? You don't need to cut any more carrots now. Yeah. So you just take a grater and use the smallest grating piece, and then you take the lemon. This one's already grated, but I'm just giving you the example. So if you still have the peel there, make sure you wash it well, and then you just grate like this, and then you'll get the grating from here, and then you can pull out some from this side, and it becomes lemon zest. Okay, and so these pieces, oh, it's great for flavor, right? Really wonderful. Okay, so we've got the lemon zest, we've got the onion, and then we have the same toasted sesame seeds, but I'm going to grind those so it's a little bit more powdery. Water and some minced garlic. Yep, I already have that in here. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And it says chill before serving. And so, yeah, let's see how it comes out when I make it. Hopefully it will turn out okay. So that's a curry and cucumber salad. You excited to eat today? All right, cool.
Do you put the yeast inside?
I'm sorry?
Put the lemon
Zest.
the zest.
Yes, so yeah, some of this is going to be about a tablespoon and a half, and we'll put that in the salad. Yeah, yeah. So it'll have a stronger lemony flavor. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so the last one that I'm going to show you is how to make Vietnamese summer rolls. Anybody have you ever had fresh summer rolls? No? All right. Maybe once you see it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. We're going to have lots of washing to do. This is rice paper. So it's not as common to find the brown rice paper, but it is possible to find, and even in Australia. You'd have to go to some of the Asian shops. So I found this brown rice paper, and it looks like this. Yeah? Know what I'm talking about now? Yeah. All right. All right, so we've got our veggies cut. We've got some herbs. This is a great way to get lots of veggies in. Yeah. Okay, so here we've got cucumber, carrot, red capsicum, some avocado. I love the avocado. That just makes food just so good. So I love avocado, and I like to use it in a lot of my cooking. We've got some mint leaves. I'm going to have a little bit of a kick of flavor. Some mint leaves. And some coriander leaves. And now notice you can do what you want. You can put what you want to put in. Sometimes I put in tofu. This time I'm not going to, since we have it in the sushi. So this is what we're doing. And then Kelly suggested, how about putting in pineapple? And yes, I do like it with pineapple as well. I don't know if everyone does or not, but this will make it more of a tropical taste. All right, so. All right, this one is a little bit cracked. So I just got water here. It doesn't have to be hot water. In fact, hot water is bad. So you want like room temperature water, and then you just put the rice paper in here, and you don't have to let it even sit for a long time, usually. Depends on the paper. Some of the papers are harder than others, but usually you just put it in there, and by the time you get all your veggies in there, then it's malleable. It's soft. So we'll test this one and see how it goes. All right, so we put that down. We start putting our veggies. Actually, sometimes I put lettuce on the bottom. Sometimes I do like noodles, and I season it with garlic, and it's, me and garlic. Okay, and then we put this. Just line it up similar to the sushi there.
What sort of noodles do you use?
Sorry?
What sort of noodles?
Noodles, just like the vermicelli, the mung bean noodles, or sweet potato noodles. Yeah. I think that this might be a little bit too much, so I'm gonna ease up there. I'll put a little bit of the mint. And some of the coriander. We're gonna have to make some special ones for some people who don't like coriander. All right, and then I'll put a little bit of the pineapple. Okay, I think those are all my innards. So you can make it as thick as you want, as fat as you want. You can put more veggies in there, fewer veggies in there. And you can't see as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. And then if you can see, the rice paper is quite soft now. All right, so then we just start wrapping it. Oh, hopefully it won't stick. So I'll wrap one side over and wrap it tight. Okay, and then I'll fold in the side there, and then fold in the other side, and wrap it tight. If you wrap it tight, then it'll be pretty. If you don't wrap it tight, it's going to be floppy and not so pretty. And then you have a roll like this, and if you want to, you can cut it like this, and you can see what's on the inside. All right, like that. But you know what really makes this is the sauce. It's all about the sauce. So, very simple. Peanut butter. A little bit of soy sauce. And my favorite, garlic. I used to make it with fresh garlic, like crushed minced garlic. I think it might be okay, but just to be on the safe side, I decided to use the powder today. And I think I put in a little bit of salt so I don't have to use as much soy sauce. Okay. And the key is hot water, boiling water, because that's what's going to make the peanut butter nice and runny, like so. Can you see the texture there? It's just a runny sauce with the peanut butter as the base. So, you want to see it done? Okay. Sometimes it's helpful to see it, and then you know. I just need a bowl. This one here. Okay. So just take peanut butter. You know, when you buy peanut butter, buy natural peanut butter. Look on the ingredients and make sure it's just roasted peanuts. Don't get any that has any extra oils in them. Many do, right? So there's some good brands. Maver's, it's a good one. And then I forgot the other name. But anyway, there's some. If just look at the labels. All right, so just get your peanut butter. I'm just gonna make. Sorry. This one is the Sanitarium brand, yeah. But even the Sanitarium brand, you have to look at the labels because some have, I think, the other things added. The natural one, I think, is good. Okay, so I put my peanut butter in there. And I'm just going to make a tiny bit because I don't need a lot more. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt.
So it's all smooth peanut butter. You just get smooth peanut
I don't always get smooth. Sometimes for the dip, you can make a crunchy one as well. Yeah. Whatever your pleasure. This is what we have right now. Okay, I'm going to put some of the garlic powder and a good amount of garlic powder to give it that garlicky flavor. And I'm going to put some of the soy sauce in there. Yeah, we're just going to finish it. And I'm going to mix that up. And it's still the peanut buttery consistency, right? So it's about the right amount of hot water that's going to turn it into this saucy kind of consistency. All right, so got my water boiling here, and I'll add some, and then I'll start mixing first, and then I'll add more. Because once you add too much water, then you can't go back. This is probably not the best thing to mix with, but it's all right. It works. Okay, sometimes it becomes like kind of a weird consistency texture, but if you keep mixing it, then it will become smooth and more like a sauce. You can make it as thick as you want, or more watery if you'd like. Sorry? Hmm? An electric one? Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of lazy. I want to have the fewest amount of things that I have to wash. So if I can get away with this, then I will. There we go. Actually, it's a good amount of water. How much? Oh, probably a teaspoon or so, or maybe a little bit less, because I have a small amount here. Yeah. And so just do it to taste. Once you start making it, then you'll get an idea. You taste it and you're like, okay. And then if you want, you can add a little bit of some, a little agave if you want a little bit of a sweeter kick or whatever.
Where did you get your granulated garlic?
This is from Costco. This is the Kirkland brand. So I really like that. But they also do have it at Woolies and Kohl's. But you have to have the granulated powder, not the powdered powder. Oh, that's the most awful thing I've ever used, I think. That garlic that's powderized, it's like flour. And that texture is really hard to work with in cooking because it clumps up. So then it's kind of granulated, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? So it's not clumpy. All right, so we've got our, yeah. So the hot water does a trick. Great. So that's today's lesson on Asian cooking. Healthy Asian cooking. All right. Now Liz is going to teach you how to make some delicious carrot balls.